What if I told you that attraction isn't a loud declaration or a grand gesture, but a quiet symphony of hints and whispers? A woman who's into you doesn't wave a flag or shout it from the rooftops. She speaks through a language so subtle, most miss it entirely. Picture it: a glance that lingers a heartbeat too long, a tone that softens like velvet, a closeness that feels deliberate yet unspoken. These aren't accidents. They're invitations woven into the fabric of instinct and intent. Yet here's the catch. Most men, tangled in impulse or drowned in distraction, stumble right past them. Their eyes are open but they don't truly see. Blinded by ego or haste, they chase shadows while the real signals fade into the noise. But not the Stoic man. He thrives in this subtle realm, catching what others cannot, his mind a lighthouse cutting through the fog. Attraction is a dance of instinct and intention, a choreography of fleeting glances, soft tones, and unspoken invitations. Stoicism, far from cold detachment, is your key to mastering this silent art. It's not about shutting out the world, it's about ruling it with clarity, control, and the patience to act only when the moment demands. The Stoic man doesn't chase or stumble. He observes, interprets, and moves with purpose. Where others react, he reflects. Where others grasp, he waits. This isn't weakness, it's power honed by an ancient philosophy that turns chaos into order. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and the subtle becomes vivid, the hidden becomes clear. Psychology backs this up. Studies show attraction unfolds in micromoments. A tilt of the head, a lingering touch, a shift in energy. Behavioral science reveals how women, often more attuned to nuance, craft these signals to test your awareness without risking vulnerability. It's a game of whispers, not shouts, where the stakes are connection and the currency is subtlety. Think about it. How much is said in a single look? How much is felt in a brush of skin? These aren't random. They're deliberate, orchestrated by biology and shaped by choice. So here's the promise. In this guide, we'll decode 8 subtle signals that scream she's into you, filtered through a Stoic and psychological lens. Each one offers not just a glimpse into her mind, but a chance to sharpen your own. This isn't about conquest. It's about understanding, about seeing the unseen while staying grounded in who you are. Let's unravel this hidden language. Stay calm, stay wise, and let's begin. Sign 1. The captive glance. Her eyes lock onto yours, not with force but with a quiet pull, like a thread you didn't know you were holding. It's not a stare that demands, it's a gaze that invites, a slow reveal that hums beneath the surface of casual chatter. A woman who's into you doesn't announce her interest with trumpets. She whispers it through her eyes, letting them linger just long enough to stir something primal. This isn't chaos or coincidence. It's a signal, deliberate yet veiled, a window into her curiosity or desire that most men miss in their rush to speak or look away. But you're different. You feel the weight of her glance and pause to decipher it. Psychology backs this up. Sustained eye contact triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone, wiring you for connection. Studies show it's a tool women wield to signal curiosity or desire without uttering a word, a silent test of your awareness. Her eyes become messengers, carrying layers of intent in a fleeting moment. Yet here's where the Stoic shines. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look beneath the surface." The Stoic man sees her gaze not as flattery, but as data, observing without leaping to conclusions. Where others might blush or break, he holds steady, sifting through the noise for clarity. So what do you look for? A hold past 3 seconds. It's intentional, not accidental. A softening around her eyes, where tension melts into warmth. A quick look away then back, a playful dance to see if you're still there. The Stoic response? Meet her gaze with steady eye contact. Calm, not eager, letting silence build the tension. Don't flinch or force a grin. Let your presence speak. This isn't just attraction, it's a dialogue, and your composure sets the tone. Sign 2. The orbit of closeness. She drifts into your space not by accident but by design, a gravitational shift you feel before you see. It's the art of nearness, a subtle pull that draws her closer without a word. A woman who's into you won't barge in with bold demands. She'll orbit your world, finding quiet ways to shrink the distance between you. Maybe she lingers by your side at a crowded table, or stands just near enough that her presence hums in your periphery. This isn't random, it's instinct meeting intention, a signal that whispers comfort, trust, and something more. Psychology calls this proxemics. Personal space shrinks with trust. Edward Hall mapped it out. 18 inches marks the line where casual turns intimate. When she steps into that zone, she's signaling more than politeness. She's testing your orbit, seeing if you'll push her away or pull her in. Most men miss it, too caught up in their own chatter to notice. But the Stoic man? He feels the shift and watches. Seneca urged patience over haste, and here it pays off. The Stoic notes her nearness but waits for intent to clarify itself. He doesn't assume, he observes, letting her actions unfold. What do you watch for? Repeated proximity, she's there again and again, even with other options. Her body angled toward you, an open stance that says you're her focus. A casual brush, her arm against yours, light but tangible. The Stoic response is simple: stay grounded. Don't crowd her back or leap to fill the space. Let her orbit deepen naturally. Your calm signals strength, not neediness, a rare trait that draws her closer still. This isn't about pursuit, it's about presence, and your stillness amplifies the pull. Sign 3, the whisper of touch. Her hand grazes yours, light as a breeze, but heavy with meaning, a message without a voice. It's not a slap on the back or a bold grab. It's subtler, a fleeting contact that speaks louder than words. A woman who's into you doesn't always declare it. She tests it, letting her touch weave a thread of connection. Maybe it's a brush against your arm as she laughs, or a pat that lingers a second too long. These aren't mistakes. They're whispers, deliberate yet deniable, probing your reaction while guarding her own vulnerability. Psychology explains it. Touch releases dopamine, forging bonds in the brain's reward centers. Research shows women often use subtle contact to gauge your response. Will you flinch, freeze, or lean in? It's a primal language older than speech, and she's fluent in its nuances. Most men miss the memo, either overreacting or ignoring it entirely. But the Stoic man stands apart. Seneca said, "Accept, don't cling," and this is his guide. He feels the touch but doesn't rush to mirror it. He lets it land, absorbing its weight without losing his footing. So what do you spot? A fleeting graze, her fingers skim yours, by accident, but not quite. A lingering pat, her hand rests testing your calm. A playful nudge, light, teasing, sparking chemistry. The Stoic response? Acknowledge it with a nod or a faint smile. Restrain, don't react. Don't pull away or pounce. Let her lead the escalation. Your restraint isn't coldness, it's confidence, a quiet power that deepens her curiosity. She'll notice how you handle her touch, and your composure will echo louder than any eager grasp. This is the Stoic's edge. He feels the whisper, but he masters the silence. Sign 4, the velvet voice. Her tone softens, slows, wraps around you like a secret shared in a crowd. It's not the words themselves that shift, it's how they land, warm and deliberate, a quiet pull that draws you closer without force. A woman who's into you doesn't raise her voice to declare it. She lowers it, letting it hum with intimacy, almost daring you to lean in. Picture it. The chatter fades and her speech becomes a melody, slower, softer, laced with a charge that's felt more than heard. This isn't noise, it's a signal, subtle yet magnetic, a whisper that most men drown out with their own clamor. Psychology reveals the mechanics. Voice modulation signals attraction. Lower pitch, slower pace pull you in, sparking dopamine in your brain. Studies show women instinctively soften their tone to create a private space, a sonic bridge between you and her. It's not random, it's primal, a tool to hold your attention without breaking the spell. But the Stoic man doesn't falter. He hears her shift but stays present, not swayed by the lure. Seneca advises, be where you are, and hear its law. The Stoic listens, grounded, letting her voice weave its web without clouding his clarity. What do you listen for? Hushed volume, she speaks as if only you should hear. Drawn-out words, each syllable lingers, holding you there. A teasing lilt, a playful rise that hints at more. The Stoic response? Match her cadence subtly, keeping your calm. Don't rush or overplay it, let your steady tone mirror hers, building a quiet synchronicity. Your restraint amplifies the tension, signaling strength she can't ignore. This isn't just sound, it's a dance, and your composure leads. Sign 5, the spark of tease. She pokes at you with words, playful jabs that dare you to flinch or fire back. It's not sweetness or agreement she offers, but a spark of defiance, a verbal nudge that tests your edges. A woman who's into you might not flatter you outright. She'll tease instead, tossing out a quip like, "Oh, you think you're so smooth, huh?" with a glint in her eye. This isn't hostility. It's a game, a subtle challenge wrapped in laughter, a way to see if you'll crack or rise. Most men miss it, stumbling into defense or silence, but you see the invitation. Psychology calls this relational play. Teasing builds chemistry, testing your wit and resilience. Research in social psychology shows it's a low-stakes arena where attraction blooms. Her jabs gauge your confidence, your ability to hold steady under fire. It's a dance of words and she's leading, waiting for your step. Here's where Stoicism shines. Marcus Aurelius taught power over mind, not events, and the Stoic turns her challenge into rapport, unshaken. He doesn't bristle or shrink. He plays, meeting her spark with his own without losing his core. What do you look for? Mock disbelief. Wait, you actually like that? Light sarcasm. Wow, real expert over here. A grin. Her face betrays the flirtation. The Stoic response? Reply with humor, guilty as charged, and hold your frame. Don't escalate to argue or retreat in stiffness. Mirror her playfulness with calm wit. Smooth? I prefer polished, but close enough. Your ease turns her tease into a bridge, not a wall. This isn't combat, it's connection, and your steady hand keeps the spark alive. Sign 6, the echo of you. She mirrors your stance, your laugh, a reflection so natural it's almost invisible. It's not a loud mimicry but a subtle sync, like a shadow tracing your steps. A woman who's into you doesn't always say it, she shows it, echoing your lean against the wall, your casual sip, the rhythm of your voice. It's an instinctual alignment, a quiet harmony that slips past conscious thought. Most men overlook it, too focused on their own moves to notice hers. But the Stoic man? He catches the echo, feeling its pull without fanfare. Psychology explains this with mirror neurons. They drive mimicry, a subconscious sign of rapport and attraction. When she reflects you, her brain is wiring itself to yours, building a bond beneath the surface. It's not flattery, it's connection, a signal she's tuned to your wavelength. Yet the Stoic doesn't puff up with pride. He sees her echo as connection, not conquest, humble, not proud. He knows imitation isn't about him alone. It's about the space you share, and he honors it with quiet awareness. What do you notice? Posture sync. You shift, she follows. Copy gestures. Her hands move like yours mid-story. Tone alignment. Her laugh matches your cadence. The Stoic response? Reinforce with warmth. Lean in slightly, stay authentic. Don't call it out or shift to test her. Let the mirror deepen naturally. If she mimics your sip, take another with a faint smile, inviting her to stay in step. Your calm presence fuels the rapport, showing you're attuned without arrogance. This isn't a trick. It's a rhythm, and your steadiness keeps it flowing. Sign 7, the pause that invites. She lingers in silence, a gap that beckons you to fill it, or simply feel it. It's not a rushed chatter or a nervous laugh that follows her words. It's a stillness, a deliberate pause that hangs in the air like a held note. A woman who's into you doesn't always flood the moment with sound. She lets it breathe, offering a quiet space that pulls you in. Picture it. The conversation dips, and instead of jumping to break it, she stays, her presence steady, her silence alive. Most men stumble here, scrambling to speak or fleeing the void. But the Stoic? He sees the invitation and stands firm. Psychology confirms this. Pauses heighten tension, signaling comfort with you in stillness, per behavioral studies. When she's at ease and quiet, it's a sign she trusts the moment, and you, enough to let it stretch. It's not awkwardness, it's intimacy, a test of your own calm under the weight of nothing. Here's where Stoicism reigns. Marcus Aurelius called silence strength, and the Stoic embraces it, not fearing the void. He doesn't rush to fill it with noise, he lets it deepen, a canvas for connection. What do you catch? A held breath, her chest stills, waiting. A slow sip, her lips linger on the glass, eyes on you. An expectant look, a faint tilt, daring you to match her ease. The Stoic response? Meet it with quiet confidence, don't rush to speak. Hold her gaze, nod faintly, or let your own silence answer. Your stillness isn't weakness, it's power, a signal you're unshaken by the pause. This isn't just a break, it's a bridge, and your calm crosses it. Sign 8, the unseen glow. Her energy shifts, brighter, warmer, a light you sense more than see. It's not a loud cheer or a dramatic flourish. It's a subtle bloom, a radiance that hums beneath her skin. A woman who's into you doesn't always proclaim it. She glows with it, her mood lifting like dawn breaking slow. Maybe her smile widens, her hands dance as she speaks, or her laugh carries a spark that wasn't there before. Most men miss this, too caught in their own heads to feel the shift. But the Stoic man? He senses the unseen, attuned to the currents others ignore. Psychology calls it emotional contagion. Attraction alters mood, radiating through subtle cues. Studies show when she's drawn to you, her energy mirrors that pull, warmth spreads, vitality flares, all without a word. It's not forced, it's instinct, a signal that her spirit is leaning toward yours. Yet the Stoic doesn't sway with every breeze. Seneca prized inner calm, and here it anchors him. He notes her glow but holds his stillness, observing the light without chasing it, letting it illuminate the moment naturally. What do you see? A wider smile, her face opens unguarded. Animated hands, her gestures quicken, alive with intent. A lift in spirit, her voice brightens, her posture rises. The Stoic response? Reflect it subtly, stay steady, not swept away. Offer a faint grin, a slow nod, or a warm glance. Match her energy without losing your ground. Your restraint isn't distance, it's depth, a quiet strength that amplifies her glow. This isn't just a mood, it's a mirror, and your calm reflects it back. These 8 signals, glances, touches, teases, and more, aren't just clues to her heart, they're mirrors to your own. Recognizing them isn't about winning her, but mastering yourself. The Stoic doesn't chase fleeting sparks or bend to every breeze. He stands firm, observes deeply, and acts with intent. From the captive gaze to the unseen glow, each whisper sharpens your lens, not to conquer, but to connect. It's a dance of subtlety, and your power lies in seeing it clearly while staying rooted in who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Apply this to attraction. Stop seeking signs for validation and build a presence that draws them naturally. Depth, not dazzle, is your strength. In a world obsessed with noise and haste, your calm cuts through, a quiet force more magnetic than any loud move. The Stoic man doesn't grasp, he grows, and the right connections follow. Next time you spot these whispers, pause. See them clearly, respond with wisdom, and lead with quiet power. If this sharpened your lens, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Stay stoic, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next one.